Freestyle the news.
Hey, yo, what up, yo? It's Freestyle the news. I have COVID.
Check. Hey.
It's bullshit. Fuck it though.
Drop.
We back at it.
I came back in the lane shit, tired here, that same shit. All these people want pass the torch run until they find what the games is. Get your boy your lane shit, go and check what you aim with. Double down on that bad joke with those theory books, what you prime shit for a night, bitch. Yo, L Mail out in Sinaloa in the cuffs now. Strike baby, tell the games industry to pay the money, you'll get bust out. Cody looking like he fucked now. Chris Tyson rappers getting rushed down. Mr. Beast had a bad week, just like Francis looking up the take now. Like mwah. Newsome clearing tents for all the homeless. All these people want the beef, man. All these headlines looking bogus. If you tryna fuck a couch, then I don't know if you be POTUS. You ain't saying what you is like, is that chicken really boneless? Okay, show me, get it right. We be grounding all the flights. Here's a voucher for the Red Bull and some almonds, crowding strikes. Where your money? Check the fridge, we got it locked up on the rice. Someone raise 100 million and they bitch by DEI. What you scared, baby? Listen, those attacks looking awful. Momentum deflected like picking up a thread from your daughter. And all of those millions you said you supposed to put up got lost in the rest of your ego. Just like your cards, it's best you recall them. I'm fired this summer, shit, California burning, it's all in. Big fuck you to war criminals addressing the Congress. Man, throw them out of the house like it's a budget from Costa. Brat summer, now you don't want debate, no Kamala. That's fucking rich, bruh. Turn around here like Google flopping with the cookie rights. What they skipping you like at Chipotle when the portion isn't what it looking like? What it's supposed to be. Hit them like I'm the Wolverine. All the money in the world coming in hot and that score looking like it was the old MCU smash. Yeah. Let me parry like another moment. Beyonce rapping for the USA, flags being waved by LeBron and Coco. Go and get the cold up. Let them know just who we are. Show them all that we built different. We just look like Tony Stark. Hold up. Wait, too soon? I'm fucking sick though. Hey yo, I got COVID. What? Hey, thank you guys so much for watching Freestyle the News. If you like what you heard, please jump into the air with your giant low-tier grappler and parry every single hit of this hurricane kick EX style from a Ken player. And then after you land on the ground, you press hard kick and people are like, why would you press that button? It's actually a useless button. But then your hard kick goes over their super and then you clothesline that like button and all of a sudden, oh my God, you've just created one of the greatest moments in Evo history. And then leave a comment on your favorite bar. Guys, so Evo was this last weekend. Amazing job. We just released the Evo album, Rush the Music of Evo 2024. You should go check it out. And I am sick. Was feeling under the weather yesterday. Took a COVID test. Oh my God, I got COVID. Simple reminder, whenever you go to any large gathering, bring some emergency with you and a mask. And if you're one of those people who says like, oh, I'm not gonna mask up, I'm not part of the thought police, fuck you. Cause now it's impeding every other aspect of my life, you dick. Yeah, but I'm feeling all right, getting plenty of fluids, resting quite a bit, got some more time for myself, catching up on everything. But yeah, it's a really special weekend. I'm finally back. Excited to be back and talking to you fine people. I've missed all of you. And while we had a big old show in the middle of the week, let's actually talk about a lot of crazy things that have happened since. So let's just jump into this breakdown and let's be very clear. This was one of the craziest political weeks in history. We are in very, very uncharted territory. There's a lot more enthusiasm this time around. There's a lot more, doomsaying as well. The Olympics have also started, so everything's gonna be crazy. But very quickly, right off the bat, let's start with Kamala Harris. Oh, you see, I pronounced it correctly because even though I'm tired and with COVID, when I can pronounce it correctly. All right, it's been 1 week since Kamala Harris joined the presidential race, and there have been some sizable shifts. So first off, Harris has largely reduced the number of gains Trump made in polls post-debate. A lot of polls place her probably within 1 or 2 points within the margin of error of Trump in general. She's improved multiple margins with young people, with voters of color. There's definitely places where she is surging. Secondly, she's done an apt job of controlling the news cycle effectively and cordoning off lines of attack Republicans have been trying to use. The latest New York Times Siena poll saw her favorability rating rise about 10 points. Like I said, she is surging. And her campaign just in general has felt fresh and ready as compared to what we were dealing with before. That doesn't mean perfect. For example, a few days ago, after Netanyahu came to address Congress and the protests were outside, very quickly, I just want to address that very quickly. I don't want to give this bitch any fucking attention. Honestly, fuck him, fuck his dumb face, fuck his useless ass existence, fuck him, fuck you. piece of shit. But anyway, there were protests outside which resulted in a lot of graffiti and property damage, which trended on Twitter, and Republicans took heed of basically making the hashtag Kamala's America, which started trending on X. The next day, Harris issued a statement. Yesterday at Union Station in Washington, D.C., we saw despicable acts by unpatriotic protesters and dangerous hate-fueled rhetoric. I condemn any individuals associating with the brutal terrorist organization Hamas, which has vowed to annihilate the state of Israel and kill Jews. Pro-Hamas graffiti and rhetoric is abhorrent, and we must not tolerate it in our nation. I condemn the burning of the American flag. The flag is a symbol of our highest ideals as a nation and represents the promise of America. It should never be desecrated that way. I support the right to peacefully protest, but let's be clear, anti-Semitism, hate, and violence of any kind have no place in our nation. Okay, so overall, this statement was like a block, right? She's trying to defend against a bunch of images that were going around on X. One specific image of protesters burning an American flag, and this was trending like crazy. However, this statement did fall short, particularly with people on the left who felt that there was going to be a tone shift on Gaza, much different than what Biden had been doing over the last few months. Again, Harris has been gaining momentum, specifically because she's been more vocal than Biden on Gaza, but is also seeking to add more stress against Netanyahu on those issues. But a good example of cordoning off the attack would have been something like what Pete Buttigieg posted. That acknowledges what people in Gaza are going through, that acknowledges, like the property damage that people were seeing. And again, I am not saying that the defacement of property is the same as the deaths of 39,000 plus people. Absolutely nowhere in the same ballpark. I'm just specifically talking about the political calculus and how you should have handled that a little bit better. But very quickly after, Harris did meet with Netanyahu later in the day, one-on-one to A, signal the fact that she's not going to have the same tact as Biden, and B, she gave a speech right after more emphatically pressuring Netanyahu to end the war and that civilian loss in Gaza was unacceptable.
What has happened in Gaza over the past 9 months is devastating. The images of dead children and desperate, hungry people fleeing for safety, sometimes displaced for the second, third, or fourth time. We cannot look away in the face of these tragedies. We cannot allow ourselves to become numb to the suffering, and I will not be silent.
That is a tone shift, and that seems to have been met way more positively and stemmed a lot of the political bleeding pretty well. Again, not by everybody. Some people feel she didn't go far enough, but this speech coming so soon directly after is Harris trying to signal directly that she is trying to listen to criticism or acknowledge something. Quick aside, and I have to do this just because people have been twisting my words so much these last few weeks. I hate politics. It's a bunch of motherfuckers beating around the bush, not trying to say anything about what they actually mean unless they're crazy and then they just say anything that comes out of their fucking heads. Again, I don't trust any politician, but watching the way they move about specific issues kind of gives you a more clear assessment about what the candidate actually will act on and what they will listen to and what they are beholden to. Again, Trump is beholden to populism. He wants to be popular with his base and shore up his strong supportive base so that they can consistently evangelize him. And J.D. Vance wants to really make sure the couches of America feel seen in some way, shape, or form. But again, that tone shift and the way this all played out looks like Harris is trying to distance herself from Biden's Israel policy in a meaningful way. And again, from my perspective, it looks like her campaign is really, really firing on all cylinders. She's really trying to make sure that this is a fresh start. And look, my opinion on all this, first statement was obviously poor. Second statement does signal a tone shift, although I would like to see some harsher treatment of this fucking pig Netanyahu. It feels like they want to engage with people who were disillusioned by the prior two choices in a way that's meaningful and gets them energized about actually participating in the process. And talking about Gaza and shifting from it is one of those issues. I also think this is still the honeymoon period and we have a long way to go in this cycle. It's going to get uglier. Republicans really haven't found a powerful line of attack. And I think the reason there's so much energy right out the gate is to make sure that they have enough momentum to block a big attack when it comes. But if they keep this momentum up, make a smart VP pick all the way into the Democratic National Convention, they're going to be in a much, much, much better position than they were a few months ago. They already are. But anyway, that's just my take on the calculus of the situation. Let me know what you think in the comments. And again, I'm just talking about the political fucking horse race of the situation. Hey, if you like the song you heard on today's show and you like me doing rap songs about the news and stuff, I gotta let you know today's song was made with the help of Soundraw, the sponsor of today's show. Listen, AI in general is one of the biggest question marks of today in how it interacts with creators, what's ethical, what's not ethical. Soundraw is a tool that works with creators, not replaces them, to jumpstart your creativity and take your music or your content to brand new heights. It's a great starting point for producers to take care of a lot of the busy work and get the groove all ready to go so they can finally just be creative right off the bat. And it's an amazing tool for content creators who need background music and something a little bit more punchy than just stock music. And what's great about that is Soundraw has a very easy to use interface. You could pick the genre, you could fade instruments in and out, you could check the energy, you could have fills, like a bunch of drum fills at the end of a bar. Super customizable and easy to use. And obviously one of the biggest worries people have with AI is, hey, are they taking copyrighted content and scrubbing it? Not at all. Soundraw does not scrub any copyrighted content from anyone, period, point blank. So A, good that they're not taking other people's work, and B, when you upload what you make from Soundraw, there is no worry about any licensing issues, any content ID issues. You are ready to go from jump. And that also means that Soundraw is future-proofed against any other regulations that may come in terms of AI. And if you go to on.soundraw.io/Tabani and enter in the code Tabani, you can get 50% off a Soundraw plan today. 50% off? Wow, that's how much sanity I have left during working on this Evo album. Help! No, but honestly, we've had some pretty great episodes of Freestyle the News using Soundraw, and I think it's a great system. So if you're looking to expand your horizons creatively, you want some music that isn't just basic stock music, and if you like this cool rap show, and you think, hey, I want to help him out, go to on.soundraw.io/Tabani and enter in the code Tabani and get 50% off a Soundraw subscription today. All right, back to the breakdown. All right, now let's move on to the story that I've actually wanted to talk about for a bit. MoschinoDorito. This is MoschinoDorito, aka Connor Boyd. He's a TikTok influencer and actor that frequently makes a lot of kind of funny skits talking about pop culture and a lot of times talking about leftist theory and ideologies. You may have seen his content. He has a pretty famous Doctor Strange skit. A lot of people started following him during the Drake-Kendrick beef. But recently, after the tragic death of Sonia Massey, he posted this gem on TikTok.
Anyways, you need to vote for a cop. And if you don't vote for the cop, you're not voting for the cop. You need to vote for the cop because it's the cop's turn to be president.
Now that rubbed people the wrong way, because why are you making the death of this unarmed black woman the punchline of this joke for a political talking point? To which he responded by breaking out 2 books like he'd ordered them off of Amazon Prime yesterday and reading theory passages as subtle digs to everybody calling him out.
If you're interested in books, more good books, this is another really good one. Modibo Kadali, Pan-African Social Ecology. This is an excerpt from an interview. The Democratic Party provided the best opportunity for the kind of patronage required for the symbolic success of a new stratum of elitist careerists.
Hey, bitch, I just want to chime in real quickly. Maybe look in a fucking mirror once in a while when you say the word elitist careerist. I think that would help you a lot.
Good cop, bad cop. Arrangement has been a remarkably effective mechanism for preventing revolutionary change and maintaining security for the U.S. ruling class.
Yeah, that didn't work out well. Now, this obviously resulted in everybody who doubles down on this shit an enormous backlash to Dorito, with creators all over TikTok calling him out for tripling down, especially calling him out for trying to condescendingly explain to black creators who were calling him out theory about the black what the fuck?
Like, let me, a white guy, teach you black people what this black revolutionary said.
Like, bro, what the fuck you doing? It's just fucking tone deaf. It's just incredibly tone deaf. And on top of that, he turned off stitches on the original post, so people actually have to go to his profile, download the original video. Some people have suggested this is actually so he can boost the revenue from that video because it counts as more engagement or whatever. I can't confirm or deny that. Now look, this also comes at a time where there's been a lot of reckoning over performative activism around Gaza. Many people have been having discussions with certain groups of people using Gaza as a performative issue to boost their moral standing as opposed to actually supporting people. This has been a huge thing over the last few weeks. I'll also state, as a Muslim and somebody who has known about what's been going on in Palestine for a long time, it has been the biggest issue I have had with this whole thing. I get really, really upset when people claim to be like supportive of Gaza and like anti-genocide, but like they're just coming into it and it feels like more for them to feel better as opposed to trying to help people in Gaza. Does that make sense? It's the black square on an Instagram profile if we need to use a famous example. But anyway, as for Dorito, here's my take on this. And I'll preface with this. I've seen a lot of MoschinoDorito's content. I think he has a lot of really funny content. I think he's a talented guy when it comes to making skits. I also fucking hate this guy. Listen, like this, if we had like a performative activism tier list, like if there was a performative activism fighting game, he would be A tier on the performative list. Not because he's intentionally doing it, but this dude has a habit of crashing out every time something like pisses him off and then swinging his dick around irresponsibly without any idea of context. Like every single statement he makes is about his ego and like,
look at me, I'm such a smart, moral guy, and you're a fucking idiot if you don't like me.
Doesn't take care of himself and lets his mood swings dictate his feelings to a massive audience. I have no fucking respect for that. I completely understand people have mental health issues. It's a hard time. And when you're depressed and going through something, like sometimes you want to be passionate about what you're talking about. Again, it's one of those things where activism is used to benefit your personal feelings instead of as an act of service to the people who are in pain. That fucking infuriates me. Like those are people drawing attention away to people in Gaza who need help so that they can make memes and shit about it. So they could just feel good. They could just feel good and then talk shit about disengaging with the political process. Also, just the fact of this guy being so condescending to go to his fucking bookshelf and like grab a theory book that like fucking wow. If your response to, hey, these are actions that you have to do in order to change or work within a system and your only response is to give fucking theory from these books from people, like that's fucking ridiculous. There are certain people who just live in theory like the whole time. They'll give you all of these theories. They'll give you all of these theories with no actionable like actual things that are specific, right? You know who else does that? People like fucking Jordan Peterson do that shit. They're just right wing about it. So a lot of the people who are leftists spouting those theories don't associate with them, but it's fucking there. Activism is not about self-fulfillment or feeling like you have the best theory on everything. Activism is about taking action, right? And trying to move the needle in a way that benefits the people who are marginalized, benefits a cause that needs more attention. I get the idea of the initial TikTok, like just don't go along with propaganda and all. Like I get what you're trying to say, but that isn't the right way to go about it. And definitely doubling down is the fucking biggest mask off moment you could have. Like he also like thought the Heart Part 6 was like a solid like, oh, he bumped the table against Kendrick. Like this guy's been a fucking idiot for a long time. I'm sorry, I really don't like him. But listen, let me know what you think in the comments. I'm just a guy who hates performative shit. If you have legitimate feelings about Gaza and you are doing your best and you do want to find a way to contribute to help families and everything like that, I have absolute respect for you. I don't have respect for people who are just getting hip to this and feel like calling it out makes them feel better. It's insulting to me as somebody who's followed this issue for years, especially when they yell at me for mentioning anything about the electoral process. I've seen a bunch of motherfuckers do that over these last few weeks. But yeah, let me know what you think in the comments. All right, I got an extra story for everybody. So let's talk about Marvel and Comic-Con, because oh fucking man. So Comic-Con is back this year, and this year's Hall H has had quite a lot more fanfare than you've seen in the last couple of years. Probably because of the recovery post-COVID, as well as the strike that happened. But a lot of eyes were on Marvel this year, specifically because you have Deadpool and Wolverine coming out, specifically because there's been a large amount of people saying that, hey, a lot of the movies have not been where they need to be. A lot of the reports coming out of Blade from all the development hell that's been going on. To be fair, Deadpool and Wolverine's been doing pretty good. It's grossed a ton of money over the weekend. It also has a really, really high audience rating on Rotten Tomatoes, which, by the way, I would love to be a part of that, except I got fucking COVID. So I'm fine, I'm not upset. But the movie in general has garnered a lot of praise and attention. So there was a lot of anticipation of what Marvel was gonna announce going into this thing, what updates they were going to give, especially with all the news surrounding Jonathan Majors and his Thanosing from the universe, if that makes sense. How are they going to pivot? And damn, they found a way to pivot. So amongst footage shown for the Fantastic Four and then Harrison Ford coming on stage and being the badass that he is, being like, I just did this shit for the fucking money, but it was a lot of fun. The two biggest announcements were that A, there's no more Kang Dynasty. That shit's gone. And the people returning to direct the new Avengers movies are the Russo brothers, the same guys who brought you Infinity War and Endgame. Hugely good news. The Russo brothers really understand the DNA of how all of this kind of stuff cooked. I mean, if you saw Winter Soldier, you saw any of the movies they've made in the cinematic universe, it shows. They're brilliant action aficionados just in general. So to have them back at the helm means a ton. But that's not the only thing they announced. They announced that the movie before Secret Wars, which is what they're all leading up to, was going to be called Avengers Doomsday. Oh yes. Look, if you're a comic book fan like I am, Dr. Doom, man, and a Marvel vs. Capcom fan, okay? Foot dive all day, bitch. Hugely welcome news, and that would have been it. That would have been solid. That would have been, okay, this is great. We have a new plan, a new direction forward, except for Blade. Blade is, I don't know where the fuck Blade is. But things are going well, and then they announced who was playing Dr. Doom.
We give you the one person who could play Victor Von Doom.
Bro, what the fuck? That's right. Robert Downey Jr. is coming back to the MCU to play Victor Von Doom, arguably probably one of the greatest, if not the greatest, comic book villain of all time. It's debatable. You got the Joker, you got Darkseid in there, but man, that's a oof. It's some pretty insane news, and obviously this broke the fucking everything, right? Everybody was talking about this. It was all over the internet. Tons of people chiming in with opinions. It's insane casting news, and look. If you've seen the spoilers for Deadpool Wolverine, which I have unfortunately seen a few, there are some interesting cameos in there too. But without spoiling any of those, this literally just got a lot more people excited for any of these movies coming out. This was a huge pivot that Marvel needed. Also, man, pour one out for Jonathan Majors for fumbling the bag harder than anybody has ever fumbled a bag. But amongst that excitement, there were also some people who were saying things like, oh, it really just feels like a cash grab. Like, they really just want you to go see the movie. They seem really desperate. I'm just going to be fucking honest. What? Does it seem like stunt casting? Yes. Do I care? Fucking no. I just hate that argument, just in general, to be like, oh man, they're really scraping the bottom of the barrel with Academy Award winner Robert Downey Jr., who defined the whole fucking multi-billion dollar grossing movie universe. Yeah, what a easy move they made, bringing him back after he swore it off. Listen, I think so many people get so involved in like the concept of a movie and the concept of being like original and just so precious about movies that they forget that cinema is also supposed to be fun. It's supposed to be enjoyable. It's supposed to be an experience. And the experience of seeing fucking Robert Downey Jr. playing Dr. Doom is a cool fucking experience. My personal take is it's awesome. It's great. And I don't just like love everything Marvel. There's plenty of Marvel movies I've disliked. Wasn't a big fan of the Ant-Man movie. Had problems with Eternals. There are even Marvel movies that a lot of people like that I'm not a big fan of. But if you're a comics fan like I am, comic books do this shit all the time. They do giant stunts where they bring back artists, they bring back designs, they bring back costumes, and largely people say like, oh, they're just trying to sell books. Yeah, but sometimes it's really fucking cool. And this is cool. Like, let us have nice things. It's fun. Everyone's like, oh, this just seems like a bunch of nostalgia. Yes, I'm paying money for nostalgia. You can show me all of the South Park member berries memes you want. I would like that right now. There will be a point where it's ridiculous to me and I don't want to live there, but sometimes it's fun to have. Sometimes I want to boot up Sonic Adventure 2 and play that game that has kind of wonky physics on my Dreamcast controller. I'm already living through the most insane history imaginable. Let me watch Tony Stark be Dr. Doom for a little bit, okay? I can watch Oppenheimer later. But shit, let me know what you think in the comments. All right, now let's move on to Elon Musk and his daughter. Oh man, what a crash out moment. Elon Musk was recently in the news having a discussion with Jordan Peterson in which he said his trans daughter had been infected by the woke mind virus and was dead to him. Now look, Musk has had quite a lot of press over the last few weeks over backing down over a $45 million donation to Trump to all his other bullshit. But in a twist of fate, drama intervened. Because Musk's daughter actually responded to him on Threads for extra spite. So Musk had also posted, blank was born gay and slightly autistic, 2 attributes that contribute to gender dysphoria. I knew that from when he was about 4 years old and he would pick out clothes for me to wear like a jacket and tell me it was fabulous, as well as his love for musicals and theater. But he was not a girl. To which Vivian, his daughter, responded, there's a lot of stuff I need to debunk which I will get to and don't worry, but I want to start with what I find the funniest, which is the notorious slightly autistic tweet. It's going to be a bit, so just bear with me. This is entirely fake. Like none of this ever happened. Ever. I don't even know where he got this from. My best guess is that he went to the Milo Yiannopoulos School of Gay Stereotypes and just picked at random and said, oh yeah, good enough, in a last-ditch attempt to garner sympathy points when he is so obviously in the wrong even in his own fucking story. I did not have a love of musicals and theater when I was 4 because, you know, I was fucking 4. I did not know what these things were. My earliest real experiences with musicals was when my twin brother had a Hamilton phase in 8th or 9th grade and overplayed it so much in the car to the point where for a long time I swore off the entire genre. I never picked out jackets for him to wear. I was most certainly not calling them fabulous because literally, what the fuck? I did not use the word fabulous when I was 4 because once again, I would like to reiterate, I was 4. Like, this is so obvious, I don't even think it warrants an explanation, but apparently people believe this nonsense, so here I am. The entire thing is completely made up, and there's a reason for this. He doesn't know what I was like as a child because he quite simply wasn't there. And in the little time that he was, I was relentlessly harassed for my femininity and queerness. Obviously, he can't say that, so I've been reduced to a happy little stereotyped, I'm not going to use that word, along to use at his discretion. I think that says a lot about how he views queer people and children in general. As for if I'm not a woman, sure, Jan, whatever you say. I'm legally recognized as a woman in the state of California, and I don't concern myself with the opinions of those who are below me. Oof. Obviously, Elon can't say the same because in the ketamine-fueled haze, he's desperate for attention and validation from an army of degenerate red-pilled incels and pick-me's who are quick to give it to him. Go touch some fucking grass. Damn. And obviously people accusing Vivian of not knowing any better, that she's a helpless victim and also a glorious cabal activist, which she responded to as well. And my theory in all this is that Musk is getting exposed like he should get exposed. Like I said, 45 million he pledged to Trump. Now he's not going to pledge to Trump because it looks bad. He's still promoting him on his platform. I mean, look, for the longest time, Elon Musk almost got away with, hey, I'm the brilliant engineer guy behind Tesla. I'm trying to move the world forward and save humanity and all that shit. But as time has gone on, he's become, very honestly, the quintessential example of an asshole billionaire. I mean, to be honest, even more than Jeff Bezos. Remember a few years back when we were like, man, Jeff Bezos is kind of a fucking dick. I'm sure he's still probably a fucking dick, but Musk is quintessentially like a shining example of a guy with so much money who swings his money around and is just fucking messy with his products, with everything. Honestly, Tesla has also lost a ton of the market share with cars because people just don't want to deal with Musk's bullshit. Also in the product line, Musk will make changes to Tesla cars on a whim and people will be like, oh, I just got to deal with this change. I know that's a big reason why a lot of my friends have switched over from Teslas. And I think if we have a lesson from this whole week, it's just how ego can kill something, honestly. Like all these stories we have from MoschinoDorito to Musk to even the people trying to attack Harris, and even Harris's poor statement itself. All of them are, if you don't kill your ego and act in service of something, you get fucked. And honestly, Elon says that he's in service of trying to save humanity, but all of it is to save his own ego and his own moral righteousness. Like, it's just narcissism at this point. It's been a while since he took over X, and like, arguably the platform is the worst it's ever been. But I think this message from Vivian sends a strong punch in the gut to Elon, and his biggest sycophants are gonna obviously just kind of cling on to him. But anybody else with an independent opinion who isn't like really like in love with Elon or hates him is gonna think he's messy. And that's not what you want when you're the richest man in the world and you own a platform. And he did this to his fucking self. So yeah, get what you pay for. But anyway, let me know what you think in the comments. And that's gonna do it for today's show. Thank you guys so much for watching. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, Go check out Zed Talks. We're going to be back here next week with another Freestyle the News. Go listen to Rush, the music of Evo 2024. And I'm going to try to drink plenty of fluids and get better. Anyway, my name is Tabani. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see y'all soon. Let's go!